Well, hi there. How are you? Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. My name is Jack Willard. Bring this down a little bit. That's better. There's one like already, and I haven't done anything. It's like Rush Limbaugh used to say, um, dazzling the masses just by showing up. We have a six-part series so far, a six-part series to Rush Limbaugh, the greatest talk man of all time. Homage to Rush. We talk about various topics. Hope you'll check that out. One of those videos actually made it into my top 10 in the analytics, but it wasn't high views. It was just happened to squeak in at number 10. We'll say hello. Here come the people. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'll get to it pretty quick, I promise. I'm not going to do 20 minutes, of rambling. I'll go back and forth because, I care about who is joining us and what have you. But I know some people get annoyed when I do that. That guy six, the cat is out of the bag. Elvis is alive. Well, give me your reason. You may have a scoop that I don't have. I've been at the Jimmy Stirrer Christmas show today, downtown William Brown. Hi, Jack. Yes, downtown here. Todd Bradshaw. Hey, Jack. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Here's someone we've had before, but not too often. Hello, my friend. Hi, Ken. Theen? No, Thinny? If there's a way to mispronounce it, believe me, I will find it. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at that. That's why, as I say, I couldn't be a newscaster. I couldn't be a newscaster. I've worked with some great newscasters in my radio career. Um, I worked with some lazy ones. I worked with one that was great on the air, but the man had no voice actualities. You know what? A soundbite? He didn't have any ever that I that I knew of. Probably in his earlier career. Then I had newscasters that would hand me a stack of cards that looked like 8 tracks, um, and they were lined up. So I would hit them for him as he sat in the little news booth. Yeah. Wow. Brenda Noyce is here. Cindy in South Louisiana, but a different part of Louisiana. Johnson City or something. I can't remember, Cindy. Darlene Koberstein. Hi, Jack and all. Hi. Marlene Wilson. Elvis is alive. Are you sure about this? You hope he is. Okay. How are you, Karen Phillips? Hi, hi, hi. Here's my man, Marty Greco. Hi, Jack, Karen, Elvis, and everyone. Appreciate that. Trying to get her over here. Some night, like for a Christmas show, she's a tough cookie because she's shy. And I said, you don't have to worry. I will lead you along. I will bring, it's my job as the interviewer to bring out the interesting aspects of your life that I think you might want to talk about. You know, hey, Shelley from Canada. Hi there. Um, Grana G. That's a pretty good radio name. Grana G. Just attended the Household of Faith Christmas party. Well, I hope you're going to send me a nice email and tell me the parts you want me to know about. Don't put in there in the main paragraph parts you wouldn't want me to know about. But if you want me to know about them but not air them, put that underneath. And I'm begging you, please, 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 don't use small print. I'm an old man now. You go down there and you see those things that look like telephone poles, and it gives you a choice. You can go large, you can go huge. Either one is fine with me. But some people write me a long thing in the finest print. Um, my glasses aren't that good. And if I'm going to read it right off the screen on the air because I have your permission to do so, then the bigger print helps me tremendously. Um, Nobody listens to that though. Miles Wright, hijack. Hi. Don't say hijack on a plane. Boy, people used to say that to me all the time. Kim Lackey, but she's not a lackey. Hey Jack, you sound a little choppy. I don't know. Like I'm in choppy waters, you mean? Sometimes I notice when I hear the playback of the show, there are times when I sound a little computery. So I do notice that. This is way beyond my control, you know. I think on Saturday night, a lot of people stream, so that could be another factor. But not only did we get a new modem. I changed router. I took the R. See what I did there? Did we get a new router and a modem? We got a new ether cable, a hard line that comes in here. We were never using Wi-Fi. So Andy installed that just before our Thursday pop on to pop off. It was about the same time as we would normally do a midweek worldwide ramblings, but I didn't promo it. So when I don't promo, I say it's a pop on to pop off, you know. And we got a lot of people. We got a lot of people. I was very, very pleased. So let me know if it still sounds choppy, Kim Lackey, after a bit. Laura Shadley, hello from Otway, Ohio. Julie Backus, hello to you, Jack, and the family here tonight. That's what we are, family. We are family. I got all my sisters and brothers with me. It's coming up fast. 57 that I know of right now. And I jumped ahead here. I jumped ahead. Oh, I keep my phone up because sometimes it alerts me to something that I need to know. Sandra Yugi is here. XOXO, that's nice. Hello, Jack. I caught alive. It has been a while. Yeah, I remember the last name because obviously it's, it stands out. Um, and if I mispronounce it, just write it phonetically so a 3-year-old can understand it. Hi, Cheryl Larson. I'm glad you're here. Neo is here. I was here slightly earlier, but chat was not letting me write and had to reboot YouTube, huh? Yeah, I just turned it on at about, 9:59 because I was researching and stuff like that. Some interesting stuff to get to tonight. Hi, Aisha from Down Under. That's right. Aisha watches in Australia. Hi, Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand. See, I never got this when I was in the Catskills. I never got New Zealand then. I never did. Um, but I loved being in the Catskills. It was a special time for radio, and it's kind of like the pilot that goes to the bathroom and the co-pilot locks him out and then crashes the plane. Self-inflicted wounds I will never understand. Just in case my buddy's watching, I have no animosity. I actually like the chap very, very much. But I mean, how do you not put a DJ on an afternoon drive voice track, which costs you next to nothing? And then they're very good at telling the sponsors, oh, we got a great audience here. Everybody's excited. The very good salesman at that station. I'll say that much. Very good salesman when I was there. Other than that, I'm just, speaking of possibilities. That's what I do here, especially when we talk about the Bob Joyce Elvis topic. Um, so Laura Shadley, yes, and Grana, what's your email? Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. All right. Try to write in at least large size print. Please, please tell me yes. um, and William is here. Puglisi? I know you've been here before, William. Is that a Polish name, is it? Howdy, all. You're a Polish cowboy, huh? Like a Polish cowboy. What's going on with you, Carmen? It's been a while. What's going on in New Zealand? How's your government treating you? Are they dictatorial or are they fair? During COVID, they were dictatorial. Um, that's what we kept seeing. Kara Slaw. Hi, everyone. And Kitty Hewitt. Hello, Kitty. How do you all feel about President Trump being in England? Yes, he's being the diplomat that we need, sitting there with Prince William. I saw him, and Prince William didn't seem to mind, but I don't know. I didn't hear any of the conversation yet because I've been out all afternoon. I've been out all afternoon. So I'll catch up on this. Remember, when I go to other screens, I can't see your comments then. I've got something queued up on my left screen that I want to play for you. Kind of our own little commercial break, sorta. I'm not making any money on it, but yeah. So hi, Michael G. Mikhail Gorbachev. How are you? Welcome to you. Carmen says it's still choppy. So everybody else experiencing it being choppy? Looks perfect here, it's really hard. Regina Terwilliger. I've known a few Terwilligers in my day, back in the school era. And Deanna, I want to call you Deanne, but it's Deanna Lambert, the movie star, with her calming videos. Calm you right down after a day of, you getting all upset about those things you can't change anyway. You know, don't dwell on the past, dwell on today, the moment, and how can I make it better? I just had to accept that decisions I made in the 70s and 80s and 90s are not going to be able to be erased. I can only ask for forgiveness. I can try to make it right with the people who feel that I affected them. And in some cases, I definitely did. What's that song? You always hurt the one you love, didn't do it intentionally, wasn't thinking that would happen at all. Shows you that, I was focused on the wrong thing. Nancy DeMarco, also known as Fancy Nancy. Well, that's good, Neo. It's smooth on your end. Is it like JB Smooth, or it's JB, right? The guy who played Leon on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I better just check my email here, see what's going on. Um, Debbie Graham does a test. Yes, I see you. Hi, Debbie Graham. Are you related to Franklin? Talking about this movie. I haven't put all this together, but I do want to respond to a couple of things. So there's a few new channels out there. Obviously, the Bob Joyce Elvis topic has only grown exponentially. That's the way you say it, right? I never use the word, but I figured, I should use it exponentially in the last year or so. For a while there, especially being the chronological storyteller or the chronological possibility pointer outer, um, I didn't seem to have a lot. But one thing I won't do is just put up any information and not consider whether it's accurate or not, because I know it's going to get views. Isn't that tempting, though? If you put up someone else's work and it gets 22,000 views or something, that creator gets paid for each 1,000 views. Each 1,000 views. If it goes to 49,000 or 69,000, you're hooked, baby. You're hooked. But I want to put up information that is reasonable. And of course, the detractors who disagree with me um, don't feel that that is true at all. Some of them are sincere and some of them are just trying to get attention. Hi, Sam Semi. Welcome to you hitting the thanks button here for 99 cents. Thank you very much. Every dollar or every 99 cents helps. I appreciate that very, very much. I won't go into any raps about the Cash App right now, or, other than to say thank you, Sam Sammy, for that 99 cents. It helps me so much as we go to the grand total. Um, so there's these new groups that tend to have very few subscribers. They're a long way away from, I think, some of them being able to go live, unless they've changed the rules or what have you. and they they make statements that they expect you to take as the gospel truth. And this is such a complicated story when we talk about Pastor Bob Joyce and when we talk about Elvis Presley. You know, we've been through the whole thing. Deanna Lambert hits the thanks button for $2. Thank you very much, Deanna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If everybody did that, I'd have a lot less stress. But I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And I understand when people can't do it, you know. But Sigrid Schultz has become a popular topic. People that are determined to tell you that the person we think may, I only speak of possibilities. I don't know how you feel. May be Walina Hattie, who married Robert Wayne Joyce in 1975 in Texas. Um, Once was the Germany girlfriend of Elvis Presley when he was Soldier Presley. And the tall one, you can see that they wrote Willina above her head, and the one that's closest to Elvis, although he has his arm on the tall one, around the tall one, uh, that is labeled probably by JJB. Correct me if I'm wrong, JJB, as Sigrid Schultz, right? And then we have later pictures. We have later pictures. Now, the other woman, I don't know, but you know, there were they hung around as friends, you know. Sigrid Schultz, even if she is this person that we think right here, even if she is, she could still say she had somewhat of a relationship with Elvis. Who knows what could have went on? But we don't think that's Willina, and a lot of people do. A lot of people do, and then they give what they consider to be facts, and I don't see much meat in their presentation. I don't see much meat. So let me go to everybody. Robin Roman. Hi, hello, Jack and family. Is everyone getting into the Christmas mode? I did by going to a Christmas show today. Today we are Christmas wrapping already, huh? You're trimming the tree. Prayers to everyone this time of year. Thank you so much, Robin Roman. And William is an Italian cowboy. See, I can't tell Polish names from Italian names. That's pathetic on my part, isn't it? Mr. Jack, how do I use my card to contribute? Well, if you're talking about a credit card, that means the thanks button, which you see right down here. You see it says thanks, and there's a dollar sign there, and you can contribute via your credit card. I don't know about debit. Um, I don't know. I've never hit the thanks button myself. I have used Cash App, which is the other thing I use. So quickly before I go into content, Cash App is something that you can load if you are in the United States or the UK, and you can load it and you can use it for various purposes, to receive money yourself or to send money to your kids or whatever you're going to do. I use it every month, been using it for years, never had a problem. With that, you have to link your checking account into Cash App. That's how that works. See, you link your checking account, and you got to make sure you have enough in there to. This is a virtual tip jar. It's just a virtual tip jar. So Sammy, thank you now for another thanks button hit of 279. So you hit the thanks button for the credit card. Cash App, if you want to, if you have Cash App loaded, which you can load through Google Play. And my handle on Cash App is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY 56, because I was born in 56. In other words, 56. So thank you for that, and thank you, Sammy, for doing that. Um, So, how do I present this? It's different when I do pre-recorded videos because I've got it all thought out and I can always do take two. But this is something that since I was out today, I'm just relying on being able to put this together. Okay, well, we have shown pictures before of the Sabrina wedding. I only do this because there's such an interest here, and these photos are all over the place. But there is Robert Wayne Joyce with Sabrina Joyce on her wedding day. I do believe we have that right. She's dressed as a bride, and that is Robert Wayne Joyce, who would be, I guess, about 72 years old now. He married Willena Hattie in 1975, right? Now look at that hairstyle. Look at the eyes, too. That's another big one. Look at the eyes and look how he has his hair pushed back and really a really cool style, I think. And then so they come along, these new people, and they show this picture. Now I have to use my phone for this, and I can see it, so I think you can too. I know, oh, the glare. Yeah, yeah, thanks for trying, but I think you can see it's a totally different hairstyle. It looks like like it's a CGI or what do you call it, Photoshop. It looks like they took Pastor Bob Joyce's head and put it on that body or whatever, or his whole being you know, is put into a picture next to Sabrina. I don't see, let me go over here. Oh boy. The logistics always, it's like I'm doing a math quiz here. Um, it's not the same guy. Do you see that? You see that? There, I took away the glare. It's not the same guy, totally different hairstyle, but the same Sabrina, different eyes. If you look, you can see what they're trying to do here. It's not the same guy. That does look like Pastor Bob Joyce there, but the man on the photo that I'm holding up doesn't look right. Everything is falling down here. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me. Ah, so so we did a video. It's got about 1,200 views right now, and hopefully we'll climb higher. Hi, Susie Young. Hi, Ruthie. Agree, not the same man. Thank you, Ruthie. This is what they do, though, to try to prove their case. I don't think they really care about proving their case. They care about getting hits. That's what it's all about here. I'll tell you one way you won't get hits. Okay, I'm going to give the newest competition. You won't get hits if you show a picture of Pastor Bob Joyce from the Safely Home CD and you have juveniles giggling in the background. We never see them. And then the sounds of passing gas. That will never get you to your goal. That will never get you to your goal. You just reveal yourself to be, well, you know, you know. Um, Sammy is talking to Cindy, who's visiting her family. Well, here's the grand patriarch of the family from West Palm Beach, Florida. That's Richard Lyon. Richard Lyon. Wonder, I haven't talked to you this week. I wonder if you made a decision on your treatment options. Uh-oh, what do we got here? This JB. BE, JB. This will be I can tell by the caps. The Apostle John wrote about the angel of the church of Philadelphia in Revelation 3:7. Jonathan Kleck is the angel of the church of Philadelphia. He is here before the fire Second Peter 3, verse 7. So most people are wondering why you're inserting this. So are you here just to kind of use the channel, or you need a lead in before you say something like that? Did you have a lead in? Let me look here. I don't think so. I'm packing to move 2 days after Christmas, so we're not having Christmas this year. We haven't put up our usual small tree this year. It just seems kinda silly. There's just Karen and I and Andy, we're all grown adults here. And, Monty, I got a Marty and a Monty. Monty Dobson. Where is the part 4 of the top 20 of the 50 reasons Bob could be Elvis? Yes, where is it? I talked about that a little bit. The best thing I can tell you, Monty, is that I appreciate your interest, if you have any. There's just been something holding me back. I'm a human being. What kind of being am I? I'm a human being, and I hate to force it. If it's not flowing naturally, I hate to force it. Maybe there's something that's going to be needed to be included in there that hasn't happened yet, or maybe a little bit of anxiety and feeling the need not to force a video that I'm not ready to do yet. My biggest mistake, and I've done this before and I'm not going to do it again, is I set a date. I set a date. I've done this and then I regret it because I'm not quite ready to do it. But if you're looking forward to it, I want to get it done, and it requires rolling video. And Andy's been a little busy, so that comes into play too. But I will do it. I will do it. But I am going to resist setting dates. We've got parts 1, 2, and 3 up, and I had a video, the top 21 coincidences why Bob Joyce may be Elvis, and I took that down. It's before, I think before I even had the microphone. I was using just the mic on the camera, and some of the stuff I said in that video, I no longer believe and could be improved on and stuff like that. So even though it had quite a few thousand hits, I eventually took that down. So I'm not giving up on it. I will get it done. And I can't give you the full reason as to, because there's multiple reasons why it's not up yet. Hi, Shelly Shelly. Um, why do you say that, Richard? Why do you say that, Richard? Why do you say thanks, Kitty? No. Um, when I try to come into the middle of conversations, it never works. Believe in Jesus, and you are not alone. Those who don't believe are truly alone. Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Richard. I'm very glad to hear you say that. Yes, yes, yes. I would say amen. I would say amen. But everybody's going to believe at a time when they're ready in their heart, or they're not going to believe. God's not looking for a flock of robots. He's looking for people who love him and want to accept the free gift. Well, hello, Susan Carter, Miss Carter. How are you doing tonight? Glad you caught us live. And so if I miss anything, I'm sorry. But when I do content, um, and I miss stuff sometimes. So, this has become a big thing. Sigrid Schultz, we have a video up on it, pre-recorded video. And there's been some of the newer programmers. Yeah, before I get to the Bob Joyce thing. So we say the one that has her name under it, whether it's her or not, and these are just possibilities. We think that's Sigrid Schultz, and we think that's Walina. That Elvis has his arm around. They say no, that's Sigrid Schultz, and I don't know who the other one is. And then they show older pictures of Sigrid Schultz. They say she still lives in Germany. That's pretty clear. That's pretty clear. I'm happy with that. She still lives in Germany. And in our video, we say that there are people that saying that she wrote a book. It says 2015 is when they wrote the book. I can't find that book on Amazon or anywhere else. And it would be written in Germany. So Sigrid Schultz could write a book saying she had a relationship with Elvis. I mean, if you had any kind of relationship with Elvis, you'd think about, I got some pictures. Why don't I write a book? Now, am I the girlfriend that maybe a fling? I don't know. I don't know these things. And of course, there you see the writing that they wrote from this group. She is definitely not. And then they say, Willina. Well, okay. Um, that's that's your right to believe that. But we have gone over and over. Want to find the right picture that goes with this. I've got better pictures. I've got nice pictures to show you tonight from Google Photos on the church construction and stuff. Won't be using my phone for that. So don't go anywhere. Yeah, okay. So they're saying, of course, that this is the current pastor of Household of Faith, Bob Joyce. We know for sure that's Robert Wayne Joyce. And as I think JJB wrote down at the bottom, that's the biological father of Matt and Sabrina. Tom, I don't know. I've never even seen a picture of you. And he does the beautiful editing of the praise service, I think. I think so. Stacy does the sermon. Good job. So you're trying to tell me that that guy there transformed into looking just like Elvis Presley. And you know what Jack Nicholson said, go sell crazy somewhere else. We're all full up here. So here's another picture of young Robert Wayne Joyce, I believe with a young Sabrina here. Sorry, I don't have this on Google Photos. Think you can see it. Oh, see, he has the same beard and everything. Come on. Lots of guys have beards, that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't strengthen your case. You can just look at his face, right? Okay, hold on. You can look at his face and see he didn't transform into this gentleman. I'm talking about the one with the white hair, not Elvis Presley early on. Now, 70s. I think that might be when he was with Nixon in the White House. Kind of looks like that photo. But you see this man here looking like Elvis Presley, don't you? Yeah. So we're pretty sure there is some kind of a link to Elvis Presley with this man right here. Now, one of our viewers, D. Lyall, 26, is it? Proposed the question, what if around the time when Elvis Presley was in the service, Vernon Presley had a love child with another woman? Could that be who we see on Sundays? But the idea that we're supposed to think you've got breakthrough evidence here when you say that's the current pastor of Household of Faith, just don't feel that way. Here's another closer picture, and I haven't seen this one before, of Robert Wayne Joyce, who would be in his early 70s, although some say 66. I don't know. And I'm sorry I don't have this on Google Photos, but right there, I got rid of the glare by tilting the phone, not by holding it straight up. It depends on how I have the lights. I don't have professional lights, but you can see that guy's face. And he's not the current pastor of Household of Faith. If I'm wrong about that, just show me documentation. Pastor Bob can call me on the video message on Facebook. It's like me showing you a picture of, um, I'm trying to give you an example that would make sense. Uh, tr- a picture of John Stamos, and then you're trying to say Matt Damon, who's preaching at a church, is the same guy. There's just doesn't ring true. Just doesn't ring true. So we've got more content, but let's see what's going on here. Um, William has written a book. Since we were talking about Jesus, and we always close with scripture, I would love to do more spiritual videos, but frankly, I don't have an audience for them. And I make clear that I am not a biblical teacher. I am just someone who shares. I don't want to be held to a higher account because I'm not, I haven't earned being a teacher. I haven't earned being a teacher. My walk is not close enough and what have you. And, there's been no indication that my spiritual videos are going to go through the roof here, or even just do okay, you know. Since we're talking about Jesus, if you're interested in the rapture, check out my book called The Greatest Lie Jesus Never Told. It's an eye opener. Yeah, I know there's people that focus on the tribulation. They believe, in a tribulation prior to the. Wait a minute now! Don't mess up here, Jackie boy. They believe that the church will be raptured out before the tribulation occurs. Some people feel that the saints of God will be raptured before any of it happens. I'm starting to feel like you missed it because, well, I certainly felt that under Joe Biden, but now things are looking up. But who knows, how far away we are from World War III. Um, there are people that believe that the body of Christ will go through half of it and then be raptured up. And there are post-tribulation that people believe they won't be raptured up to after all the bad stuff happens in the book of Revelation. Um, People that believe that, especially, they will be pointed to the scripture that God's people are not appointed unto wrath, not appointed unto wrath. But with any doctrine that you can come up with any doctrine that you can come up with, there will be theologians that get together. And I've often said we love to talk about doctrinal points of theology and what have you, surrendering our flesh to the Lord Jesus, presenting our whole bodies as a living sacrifice and loving our enemies. We're not so good at that. We're not so good at that. But there are preachers like, Jack Van Impe and even John Hagee to a degree, and well, a plethora of others that have released so many videos and taught so many times on the book of Revelation. And they can't all be right, obviously. And I'm not so sure that's what we're supposed to be focused on. And by the way, fear doesn't bring people into the kingdom of God. Hellfire scriptures being shot at them through a cannon doesn't save souls. It's when you realize that even in my sin, God loved me. It's even then when you realize that the blood can wash away all your sins, that you start to realize that maybe that's a God worth serving. Just felt bare back there without having that there, but sometimes depends on which way I position the light. The pictures in the background are easy to, also where I sit, you know. I do need professional lights. I do need better lighting. I would like to have that in 2025. Yeah, I didn't do much. But you've seen those pictures anyway. That's interesting that you wrote a book. Judy Bouch, hello. I'm a little late tonight. God bless y'all. Well, hi. I think I gave you a southern accent there, and you don't write it that way. You just said all. um, what was that? Looks like MJ No Innocent. Judy. Okay. I totally get what you are saying, Jack. I just had to ask if the stuff you have presented, the stuff you have presented so far has me hooked. Thank you so much. You can also see some of this in the verdict, obviously, my most successful video, but I want to put some new stuff in there and things that I didn't stress before. I want to stress and that now. So I totally appreciate that. Yes, Mr. Jack, for sure. 100%, Miss Kitty. What's 100% again? Remember that short-term memory. If you don't say it, and I said it like 2 minutes ago, I probably, because I said a lot of things. I tend to talk fast and ramble. When I do a pre-recorded video, I talk much slower, I think. Deanna, I would watch your spiritual videos. Well, thank you. I have some up, you know. I even have a video that I was honest about. I said I seldom have enjoyed being a Christian. I seldom have enjoyed being a Christian, or the allure of making the wrong decision. That's another video. Um, but that doesn't mean because I've seldom enjoyed being a Christian that I'm not thankful for my salvation and that I hope that God's grace is really that amazing because it needs to be in my case. A lot of guys, we have lots of regrets. Faith Lloyd is here. President Trump met with Macron and Zelensky. Yes, yeah, he's on fire. Some say he's like the president now, but here's the problem. Joe Biden still has control of the purse strings, and he's trying to, before he goes out in an unprecedented way, he is trying to manipulate and get his agenda through one way or another and block Trump legislatively. They're trying to do this. Governor Newsom is trying to do this as well. Hopefully, those kind of efforts can all be undone by the Supreme Court. Here we are, $35 trillion in debt, and Joe Biden wanted to send another, was it $49 billion to the Ukraine? $49 billion when we can't fund FEMA, when there are people that are starving, veterans not being properly taken care of. This is all going to change now as he puts an incredible team in. They won't all be perfect. He'll have to reel some of them in. They won't all be confirmed. Some of them will be recess appointments and what have you, whatever it takes. I'm kind of conflicted in terms of the Secretary of Defense because I'm a huge fan of Ron DeSantis. He was initially my choice, but I totally respect that people wanted Trump, and I'm on the Trump team 100%, 100%, and liked him the first time. I stood in an hour and a half long line to vote for him. Karen was with me. I'm not telling you what she did. I'm just saying what I voted for Donald Trump, and I was more than happy to do that. So when Joe Biden called us a bunch of garbage, he pretty much, it's almost like he did that deliberately. He, like everybody else, he had no appetite for Kamala, except that he did make her his vice president, which ticked Jill off. And since I think Jill is a woman who usually gets her way, Why didn't she just say you'll be a divorced president if you put that woman who called you basically a racist in a debate, you know? Oh, what poppycock? It's so hard to figure out, Richard Lyon. It's so hard. Traffic's still bad in West Palm, Lyon. Richard Lyon, huh? How's Vivian Lee Lyon, huh? Luke Evans, the farm on YouTube. Is that a good channel there? Luke Evans, boy, that sounds like a soap opera name, you know? Somebody you'd see. Well, I know Luke and Laura were on General Hospital, but Luke on what's left out there? Days of Our Lives is still there. We'll put Luke Evans on Days of Our Lives because they have a few openings now that they lost Blake, who played John Black, right? With Deidre Hall for years and years. Met him in 1998 with my first wife outside the NBC studios in Burbank. And Blake Hogeson, was that his name? Who was on Days of Our Lives for like 30 some years, almost 40, was a wonderful man, Others just drove on by us, like Deidre Hall. You know, I didn't really care, but the women did. And Deidre Hall had this little tiny sports car and never even looked our way, you know, just drove on by. But this guy waited before he pulled into the street for the ladies to notice him. And then when they screamed and he gave a smile, he pulled over and spent time with them, took pictures, etc. Regina Terwilliger will be right back. Okay, Regina, thank you. Thank you for hanging in here. We have 113 watching right now. And so, you know, there is some new programmers out there looking to get noticed, and they are mentioning this channel by name, and they're coming up with like a flimsy evidence, and you know, I am always clear that I'm only speaking about possibilities. Um, I don't come to any final conclusions. I may come to my personal opinion in the verdict, but we're just talking about possibilities here. We try to do a lot of positive things. I'm going to go to email in a bit because people are going a household of faith. I'm not going to read any verbatim emails. But people are bringing things up a lot. Yeah, this topic just never dies, you know. But I do really think it's important that anything you put on your channel, you believe to be a strong possibility, if not that you believe that it's 100% accurate. You know, I can't see doing it any other way. So that's why I don't get the hits they get. That and my lack of tech skills. But when we need Andy, he'll come up here and help us. Vicky Caldwell, Jack, maybe you should not discuss politics on your blog. I don't have a blog and I don't have a podcast, Vicky. Are you Bobby Caldwell's daughter? Maybe you should not discuss politics on your blog. Not everyone is in love or worships Trump. We got a lot of Trumpers here, Vicky. I'm going to tell you, if I were to take a poll, how many of you love Trump out there, everybody? Signing off, never be back. Okay, well, I guess that problem's solved. But I know you've been here before, Vicky. I'm pretty sure the name Caldwell, and it was Vicky. You go for it. If Kamala Harris, if you were willing to vote for the likes of Kamala Harris or a zombie man who barely knows where he is to be the president of the United States, we're just never going to agree. Hearts Wild. Why do you call yourself Hearts Wild? Hearts Wild? Were you wild at one time? Are you wild now? Oh, here comes these abbreviations. GTSY. What's that mean again? I don't use that one, but I do see it once in a while. Hearts Wild often joins us when we come on real late. Shelley, are you an Elvis fan? Is the Pope controversial? I was going to say, is the Pope Catholic? But I guess my heartfelt answer to that would be, well, my heartfelt answer would be only God can judge the heart. Do I think he's a good pope? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, let's get somebody younger in there. Let's do that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But in terms of President Trump, people wanted him. They wanted him. I mean, I don't know if you're still here, Vicky, but that's the first time you heard me do this. What I try to do is in the live show, Worldwide Ramblings, I try to do 3 minutes of politics later in the show. Sometimes it kind of, bleeds into the early part. But I billboard it, so if you have no interest in that content, you can leave at that point, or just go make yourself a cup of tea and a snack. Use the latrine, whatever. It was Drake, yes, June Joyner. Did you enjoy him? I enjoyed him. I used to watch these soaps a little bit because Mary had it on, my first wife, all the time. And I thought he was a fine actor. He's one of those actors that came on the show and had an instant fan base. And Christian Alfonso is back on Days of Our Lives, or at least she made some appearances. She's older now. It was always Bo and Hope. Bo and Hope. Peter Recco is begging to come back on the show now. He's begging to come back on. Let's get Bo out of his coma. Will he have amnesia when he comes out of his coma? Because those are themes they seem to hit a little too much. You're either in a coma or you have amnesia. Yeah, God rest his soul. He fought it hard. Pancreatic cancer he had, and he fought it hard. But the interesting thing is he filmed some death scenes that they could use in the future. I don't know how that works because they've already explained that he's dead on the soap, haven't they? I don't know. I don't watch that anymore. But I used to enjoy. That soap a little bit back in the day. I don't watch any soaps now. Trump derangement syndrome on this show. On this show, too. Wow. Yeah, well, we're a worldwide audience. So every once in a while, I do get that. I do get that. And it's fine. But the more I think about it, really nobody wanted Kamala Harris. But then when there was, it was no time to do a primary, as Bill Clinton says, and what have you. So they were kind of stuck with her. But as I watch old tapes now of her in the last 4 or 5 months, just horrific, horrific. I mean, her responses and well, we need to go more woke, woke, woke. It's just like it's like she was trying to nosedive her own plane, spending ridiculous amounts of money that really comes to like 2 billion, and now she's trying to raise funds and she's $20 million in the hole. Who wants to give her money? I don't know. I'm just so thankful to God that we have gotten that nonsense out of there. But if someone's young and what have you, they may have a total different point of view. It may be based on the abortion issue, even though Donald Trump is just wants it turned over to the states, which it has been. Abortion has not decreased; it's increased. But you can't do it in Alabama willy-nilly anymore. Can't do it in Texas willy-nilly anymore. Okay. So you say, well, I don't want to be around these people anyway. They're too conservative for me. Most Texans would like the purple people that are trying to turn the state, progressive. They would like them to move to, California or Massachusetts, for example. But there's one of my viewers that I like, 100 people. See, you talk politics, it starts to go down a little bit. There's one of my viewers that, was offended when I addressed their governor, trying to block deportation. I've said I'm for compassionate deportation. I don't think a 5-year-old who walked into the country alone, probably sent by his parents, should be thrown to the wolves. But we got a whole bunch of people ahead of them. And it is a consideration as to where you put them. They talked about deporting people into countries that are not theirs. Well, what are we doing? Why don't it's like throwing them into a vat of hot oil or something. So there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. But you start with the criminals that just waltz right into this country, no vetting, just waltz right into this country. The young and the restless. It's not that they're young so much anymore, Shelley. It's that they're restless. That's actually a line in a Carmen song. Carmen Licciardello, the contemporary Christian artist that passed away now. Um, Days of Our Lives is on streaming service now. Oh, I see. I wondered. Yeah, it's on a streaming service. Which one? How do you get it? But it will be ending in 2025, I read. I used to watch it. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's hard these days for soaps. So we have General Hospital. Do we have One Life to Live anymore? Is that gone? What's on CBS? Anything? For years and years and years at 1:30 East Coast time, it was As the World Turns. My mom watched that, so I saw it sometimes. Is Vicky still here arguing her point? No, it's the same one there. She said she's quitting us. Richard, she's quitting us. I wish her nothing but the best, though. I wish her nothing but the best. Um, it's hard in this world, in a live show, not to get into politics, but I try to push it back later on into the show. So, yeah, I'm not even going to mention these new groups that are coming out that have very few subscribers and what have you, because I don't I don't see any foundation to what they're expecting you to take as gospel. I don't see it. Um, so watch the latest video on. And again, I'm not saying that the taller woman here is Willina Joyce. It's just a possibility. Um, I think when we look at the older woman I showed you, um, the woman identified in this picture as Sigrid Schultz looks more like her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I have other pictures to show you. I've been wanting to show you this one. It's just been sitting here for weeks. It just shows you how the prices have changed. Before there was Walmart here in Middletown, we had our own Walmart. It was called Lloyd's Shopping Centers. I think it might have started in Warwick as a small store, or it might have started here in Middletown as a very small store, and then it grew, and eventually they would have 3 locations. And Lloyd's had everything under one roof. It was a grocery department. It was men's clothing, women's clothing, appliances, you name it, Lloyd's had it. And the slogan was Lloyd Shopping Centers years ahead. And they were right. They were years ahead of what would be. My first job was at Lloyd's in 1972. They had 4 restaurants lined up in a row. They had the luncheonette, they had the family dining room, they had what they called the black room, all the same menu here, everything painted black. The walls were painted black. That was kind of in the front of the family dining room. And then they put in the cafeteria. And I was busboy to all 4 of them. And then I was expected to wash dishes. I was thinking about this quitting school thing at 16, which I did the very day I turned 16. My mom said, as long as you're going to get your GED, I know you want to go on to broadcasting school, as long as you promise you will do those things, I'll let you quit school. And so the day I turned 16, I showed up to quit school. And then I find myself as in my first job, busboy, dishwasher, 4 restaurants, and I lasted 8 days, and that didn't suit well with mom. But then I went to McDonald's, and Found a great bunch of people, and I stayed there from 72. I left and came back a few times. California fever called me away, but I was there a lot of the time till 1977 when I began my first job in radio. Now, you can't see this guy's picture. Wouldn't be any better if, I had better lighting because the picture is in the dark. But there is Jim Hobart, who was the host. He was also a cook at Lloyd's, I think, at one point. Then he left Lloyd's, and when I went to McDonald's, after 8 days at Lloyd's as a busboy dishwasher didn't work out, Jim was the store manager of the McDonald's on Route 211 in the town of Wallkill. So look at those prices. Look at those prices back in the early 70s. We have put on some new glasses here. Hungarian beef goulash with buttered noodles, $1.25. Tender boiled ham and cabbage nut, not corned beef, $1.10. Baked Italian lasagna instead of baked Portuguese lasagna, $1.10. Chicken chow mein with steamed rice and Chinese noodles, $1.10. And the lunch and dinner special, all you can eat, deep fried filet of flounder with tartar sauce and lemon wedge, French fries, and a tossed green salad. I can't see the full price here, but the first number is one, probably like $1.95 or something like that. Those were the days. Of course, you were getting paid a lot less an hour. I know I can't remember what Lloyd's paid me, but my first hourly wage at McDonald's in 72 was $1.85 an hour. And then I got a raise to $2.30, and I thought I was rich. Katina Swatsworth joins us. Hello, Katina, Team SWAT. How are you and your husband doing? He's a pastor. Todd Bradshaw's talking to Hearts Wild. Oh, yes, the Love Boat. So many people appeared on the Love Boat. Or Little House on the Prairie. They certainly did have a good lineup. I'm mad at Little House on the Prairie, though. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the one with Richard Thomas, the Waltons. They had David Hennessy on, who was David Collins on Dark Shadows. He hadn't done anything really since Dark Shadows, and a few years later, he goes out to California to be on the Waltons, and they give him this bit part. Well, he was a teen idol for a while, on the cover of 16 and Tiger Beat and all that, and had a huge fan base on Dark Shadows, one that continues to this day in reruns. You can go to there's a number of David Hennessy groups, and he is on Facebook himself, owns 2 restaurants in Panama, and is a fine chap. Elon Musk ate at David Hennessy's restaurant recently, and there's a picture of that. David Hennessy, he spells Hennessy unlike my mom, because that's her name. He spells it only with one N. My mother spelled it with 2. I'm a Trump supporter. I know you are, Katina. You got a good head on your shoulders. And that doesn't mean, I'm sure you would agree, we agree with everything the man has ever done, or some of the way he puts things, and sometimes when he's being mean when he doesn't even need to be. We realize he's a flawed man, but we also, certainly I'll speak for myself here, I know I'm a flawed man, and he did some wonderful things as president, and he's going to be even better this time with God's help. And I believe God's handprint was all over the election. That doesn't mean I agree with every single issue, and I'm not blind to the fact that children that need help should be cast away into, the abyss. that came to this country. I don't believe that, actually. Christian first. You got to be a Christian first. Politics come third, family comes second. You know, your career, whatever you want to put third. It doesn't have to be politics. Um, I got kicked out of school on my 18th birthday, told me I wouldn't graduate until I was 21. I got I got my GED. Well, we have a similar background, but I beat you. I got kicked out of Catholic school in the 6th grade. And that means I wouldn't be with Karen anymore. Karen was in that class, sitting a few. She says I was sitting in front of her and she was in the back. Okay. Um, I wouldn't get to experience 7th and 8th grade at St. Joseph's. I so regret that. It was just a matter that I had never been popular in class per se, although I had a few good friends in early years in St. Joseph's, but I was never one of the crowd. And Charlie Van Gelder was, and Michael Bianchi, who I still see from time to time. He lives in Florida, but he also, his son lives up here in the Hudson Valley. He spends a good part of time up here, and Karen knows him. And Keith Niles, who's no longer with us, sad to say. They were in the in crowd, and they were inviting me to be in the in crowd, which meant misbehaving in the 6th grade with Sister Laurentine. And I so regret that because she couldn't control her class. We knew that when we were in 4th grade and 5th grade, we could hear it. Reverend Mother Edwards always coming to lay down the law and stuff. And I regret that. And when it came time to get rid of somebody, they got rid of me because my father had died when I was in 5th grade. My parents were in the Altar Rosa Society or the Knights of Columbus or what have you. They weren't prominent in the church. So they said, well, we got to set an example and let's use that Willard guy. And so I ended up in Veraldi Junior High, where I met some of the people that I used to go to Catholic school that had left even earlier than 6th grade. So I got kicked out. And yes, as I had said earlier, I quit school the day I turned 16. I got my GED well before my class graduated. They won't let you do that anymore. And then I went to broadcast school. I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcast School and worked at McDonald's 3 days a week. I had to commute from Hartford, Connecticut, back here to the Hudson Valley because I was crew chief, easy job. I liked it. I wasn't going to become, I actually tried to work at a McDonald's in Hartford. And I thought, man, this just doesn't have the same feel to it. And it wasn't just because I was the only white guy on the crew. It wasn't. It was just that I just missed the people that I worked with, and we had certainly black people working in the town of Walk Hill with us, some great people over the years. But they wanted me to be crew chief Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's what I did. And then I didn't want to leave for a while. I dragged my feet getting my first job in radio. I'm relieved she didn't win. I'm overwhelmingly grateful she didn't win. She was totally unqualified, and she was going to do terrible things for this country, I believe. And we have sent a message to the woke progressives. No, thank you. We don't want that for America. Even the Democrats are coming back out of hiding and saying it was a mistake to embrace woke. So we're gaining some ground here. But before he leaves, Joe Biden is determined to make it as hard for Trump as possible and spend, spend, spend. He still wants to try to find a way to push through his aid for students when we are $35 trillion in debt. So there you go. Darren Bestable is here. I only watch EastEnders here in England. Oh, okay. EastEnders makes me think of the Our Gang people, Satch, and the dog, the white dog with the black patch on his face. Those guys. I left school in 91 and was coming up to 16. Did not have any GCSE to my name. Loved watching the Waltons when I was a young lad. Yeah, I watched more of Little House on the Prairie than I ever did the Waltons. So I didn't watch that too much, but I became a Richard Thomas fan when he started to do the TV movies and stuff like that. I've enjoyed a number of his movies. Good actor, good actor. So, Jack, I was a crew chief too at McDonald's. Oh my goodness. My best friend was the manager in Howard Beach, Queens, New York. LOL. Isn't that funny? Um, I don't know about you, Richard, but I would go to great lengths not to have to take customers. Back then, when I was a crew chief, we had a pencil and a pad, and we'd have to add everything up by hand. And people would see me coming up with my tie and dress shirt and the hat that said manager, and they say, "Oh, it's going to move fast." I was more confused than Hillary Clinton at an integrity convention, I tell you what. Deanne Lambert calming videos. Um, Still talking politics. I like Trump, but I'm over the politics. But, there's going to be so many things happening in this world. But a lot of people like to keep it light here. I also have to do content, and I can't all be Bob Joyce. It can't all be Bob Joyce. You're free to suggest topics, though. You're free to suggest topics here. High Speed Drifter. Most TV dramas are evil now and poorly written and boring. How many more decades is Law and Order going to be on? I mean, for goodness sakes, I know there's good actors on there, but the female lead, the bossy female lead. Why do I go to the woman first and not the man? See, that's telling. But I mean, forever is this going to be on? You know, the latest bad guy and the same kind of dialogue and ugh, ugh. I didn't feel that way when I used to watch Mannix with Mike Connors or Ironside. I thought those were great shows. And not that long ago, I watched Mannix again, and it kind of held up. It kind of held up as a good show with Mike Connors. He was a snazzy dresser as Mannix. I used to fill the bin with food at end of night so we could boy, this sounds familiar. Yeah, sometimes, we would get fooled. One thing happened is we got two buses fairly close to closing time. And they were 100% black people on these buses. And I started calling for, give me 12 max, give me four doubles on 12. I don't know if we had the quarter pounders yet there. And they came in. This is just the truth. I'm just telling you the truth here. They mostly ordered fish fillets and orange soda and apple pies. The bin was full. And that, of course, would go into lost and waste. And that would make me look bad, when the store owner would see lost and waste. But any lost and waste that we created when I miscalculated or what have you, now the manager was free to come over and say, it's too much, Jack, that's too much. Don't go that high. Let's see what they're going to order first. He could have said that, but he was letting me run the show. He probably was up front taking customers because he liked to take customers. But the assistant manager would create more lost and waste than I could ever imagine there. God rest his soul. He was my age, too. About my age, maybe a year older. Because there were 5 registers, but 2 drawers for each register or something, as I remember. And so you could have 10 people taking customers. There was no drive-through window at all. No fancy coffee drinks. No. There was hamburgers, cheeseburgers, double hamburgers, double cheeseburgers, fish fillet, apple pies, shakes, sometimes cherry pies. It was like every 3 or 4 months we would have cherry pies suddenly. Coffee, I said the French fries, and there was the sodas and the orange high C, and that's it. That's it. We didn't even have chicken nuggets. We didn't even have chicken nuggets. That came later. So it was fairly simple. And were you working there, Richard, the day that all the McDonald's rolled back the prices to 1966, and all of a sudden we had 15-cent hamburgers? Did you work that day? Because I did. And we lost control at 11:05 in the morning, and we never gained control. People were coming in. We put no limit on it. So people were planning major events around it and coming in ordering 50 hamburgers. We had the owner, the late John Gazzarelli, God rest his soul. He and his brothers owned like 4 McDonald's, but he loved to be with us in the town of Walk Hill. And he started yelling and yelling at the manager. And then he usually yelled at the manager more than me. One of the perks, the manager, who's the gentleman that I just talked about that would cause major loss and waste, he was like a son to the owner, John Gazzarelli. So there were 10 possible drawers, and when we were having hours where we would be bringing in $500-600 or something like that, which was big time then. Um, um, the assistant manager would put in a drawer, the very last drawer of register 5, and he would take customers for hours. And all of a sudden, we couldn't help but notice that Harry was buying a new car and was getting a nice apartment. And I'm told he had beautiful leather couches and what have you. In fact, I saw them. A bunch of us went over there. And how is he affording this on an assistant manager salary of not very much, you know? He was probably, if you figured all out, was getting like 4 something an hour. And sure enough, everything that went into that drawer on those busy days when he would take customers went into his pocket. And that would show up in lost and waste. All of a sudden, we had tremendous lost and waste numbers. Oh, yes. I always order the $5 meal. They have a $5 meal. I know that they went up and then they kind of went back down again because, there was and of course, things vary. New York City, I don't think you'll get a $5 meal in New York City. And they're paying their employees more to work there too. Remember emptying out? Boy, you bring back memories, Richard. The grease pit in between the grills, that was very heavy. Our grease pit was under our sink. I think there were 3 sinks. It was one sink with 3 bays. I don't know, what do you call them? And Jim Holbert, who I showed you here, who worked at Lloyd's before he became the manager of McDonald's. Wonderful guy. He didn't like us chattering too much, but he was good natured about it, but he would lay the law down sometimes. This was before I was a crew chief, and I hadn't been there that long. He says, I'm going to give you a job that's going to make you hate my guts. And he brought me to the grease trap, and he showed me what I had to do. It was the most gross thing that involved a bucket that you placed in the sink, in one of the sinks, and a cup that you would get all this scummy grease water out. And I only did that once. He only gave that to me once. But I remember cleaning the grease pit. Jack, I was the first to create a sherbet shake. I did that with syrup from the orange drink. Oh, I love that orange high C. They took it away and they brought it back because people don't want the orange soda. They want the orange high C. I still love it. It's, got sugar in it though, of course, and mix it with vanilla shake. People came in all the time and asked me to make them one for them. Yeah, you had to do it on the the down low, because if McDonald's Corporation found out you were doing that, they would be in touch with that owner and they'd say, "Do you want to keep your license? Because we can easily give it to someone else." You know, oh, there was some guy who had a McDonald's and put regular bakery Danish before the Sara Lee came along. He was selling regular bakery Danish in his McDonald's, and they took his license away from him, and someone else got it. I don't know how trans the transaction worked, but you could not alter that menu. We did a toasted cheese. Did you do a toasted cheese where you take a couple of slices of cheese, you flip the hamburger bun um, down, the crown of the hamburger bun down, and we would, how would we heat it? Not on the grill. We didn't use the grill. Yeah, I guess we did use the grill. And we did that. Some people would come in and ask for a toasted cheese, which was like a grilled cheese, it was a grilled cheese. So we did do that. That wasn't on the menu, but we did do that. I had some happy times because I met so many wonderful people there at McDonald's. So many wonderful people, including friends that I would have for many years. One of them is living downstairs and is probably gone to sleep now. I covered up the vent because Saturday nights we tend to get louder. And, you know, so that's how that goes. Still 92 watching, so I guess people like the casual talk. I don't watch TV shows at all. Well, I do. I watch Moonshiners Tuesday nights at 8 on Discovery. I love my Moonshiners. They just came back 3 weeks ago. It's been a great season so far. I do watch Fox News a lot, and I watch, I'll watch a business channel. Jim Cramer doesn't know what he's talking about. I have a video up on that. Aisha. Oh, those YouTube ads, they're short ones though, right? They come in and out pretty fast. Is that correct? I received a Kosori air fryer. Love it. Kosori air fryer. Yeah. Karen keeps saying our air fryer is just not big enough. She wants a bigger air fryer, but I'm not going to make that a Christmas gift. That would please Andy more than it would please her. Not that I mind pleasing Andy. He helps me out from time to time. We one of the few stores in Queens that had a triple A rating. Now, let me pause. Sometimes I go lightning speed, Wouldn't it be something if my defibrillator went off during a live broadcast? It would be good TV, but, never has gone off. But those air fryers are great, yeah. But you're still putting in, sometimes you're putting bad stuff in there. Sometimes they let you eliminate and sometimes they don't. It does help me to some degree if you do watch the ads sometimes, especially in the replay, you know what I mean? Some of it or whatever. I think it does. You don't have to pay. Are you asking me, Aisha, or somebody else? I will have to look for it, Carmen. Yeah, you guys are talking amongst yourselves, and that's good. Hi, Shelley. Welcome. Where are you watching from, Shelley? You may have said so already. Selena M is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Curtis Sliwa was a manager at a McDonald's around the same time you were, Richard. And he was in the Bronx, I think. He was in the Bronx. I remember you telling me you were just too scared to work in the Bronx. But 1111. This must be Richard Lyon because that's his number. I better go down here and confirm. And yes, thank you for hitting the thanks button for 1111, Richard. That helps me out tremendously as we try. This is the this is the month that I'm working towards what comes in late January from Google, YouTube. And I'm starting to think about the fact that I should have saved for the taxes I'm going to owe on the tips from both Cash App and the thanks button here. I usually do that with other things. Why didn't I do it this time? Because I have to pay taxes on that. So starting to think about that a lot. I don't think I can expect any kind of refund. Yeah, I just love. We had a great crew. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much for hitting the thanks button. Any amount is great, whether it's $1, $2, $5, $10. And if you have been so blessed and want to help reduce my stress and keep me focused doing this, and you can make a larger tip, because that's what it is. It's a virtual tip jar. I suggest you do it on Cash App because I get more of it on Cash App. But I'm very thankful for the thanks button too. On Cash App, it's lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. All right. You can load Cash App in from the Google Play Store. And you can even play while you're in there, like you're in McDonald's and you go into the kiddie area. Richard Lyon still likes to do that. He likes to climb a ladder and slide down and stuff like that. Sometimes he forgets to take his shoes off, and he gets yelled at. We didn't have any play areas back then either. No play areas, no drive-through. Life was simpler. Life was simpler. High Speed Drifter says, I met someone named Elvis P yesterday, but I didn't ask him what the P stood for. I see. He didn't look like at all like Elvis, though. Amazing Denos. Not in his I don't know, but amazing Denos. Okay. Carmen Sylvia has a YouTube channel up here. Check it out. Check Carmen Sylvia's channel out. Also, Vito Yazzo, who I don't see here right now, my hair guy, who I need to visit soon. He needs like 50 more subscribers, or he did, the last I heard, so he can go live on YouTube, and he would like to be able to do that. But that doesn't mean you're going to be able to sing live. See that? I don't think he knows that. They want to be able to make a decision on that before you just do it. So when you see any music at all in my work, it's usually it's got to be pre-recorded. It's got to be pre-recorded, or they will cut the audio to the music. They can do that without even cutting you talking. They can cut the music part out. Today's technology, Richard. Jack, my friend, talk soon. Football tomorrow. Sometime you're going to have to explain to me that game and why people get so excited about it. Have to start making my my drafting lineups. I know people do that. Well, God bless you, Richard. Thank you for hitting the thanks button. That's certainly not the first time, and you love that number 1111, and it's great for me too. Thank you. Regina Terwilliger says, I have to go to sleep or I will miss church tomorrow. That's why I try to do pop-ons to pop off at different times so it doesn't affect that, and we sometimes are on Wednesday or Thursday night at 10 p.m. Seems to be the best slot for most people, but on Saturday nights, there's the church factor. Thank you, Regina, for stopping by. I appreciate it. As I look at our channel now, as I say, our latest pre-recorded video that we released on Saturday was the curious case. Was it Friday or Saturday? The curious case of Bob, Joyce, Walina, and Sigrid Schultz. Number of people commented. It's got over 1,200 views right now. Like to see a lot more. Debbie Inglis was one of the people that commented. Thanks, Jack. Hope you're well from a very wet and very windy night here. And she hit the thanks button for $2 in the replay. Thank you, replay crowd, for hitting the thanks button. Sometimes the thanks button is there right away. Sometimes you have to wait for it, but just go to another video and you'll find the thanks button there. It all goes into the same pot. So thank you, Debbie. I answer these people. Cars of Elvis is the handle, saying a great video. Thank you, Jack. The car Sigrid or Welina is leaning against is the 1957 BMW 507. Elvis owned one while serving in Germany. They let him own a car, really? My best, Mike. Okay, thank you. Cindy, you were in the comment section. Great video. Thank you, Jack. I'm here at my daughter and son-in-law's house in Fort Johnson in Louisiana, celebrating Christmas with them. So she'll be there for a good while. Looking forward to tomorrow night, which is now. So thank you. Trish Terry. Hello, Jack and friends from Cortland, Alabama. Welcome. Jean Phillips, nice to have her back here in the comment section for that video. Evening, Jack and Karen. Praying you are both well. I have been extra tired putting up Christmas decorations. Been doing Christmas shopping. Monday going food shopping for the month. Church is busy. It's Advent season. Correct. Yes. Missed you, Jack, watching the replay. Brenda. You are watching a pre-recorded video. I'm never going to drive that point home to you, am I? Hi, Jack. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Better than I deserve. I think I even said that right. Better than I deserve, Martin. How are you? Live tonight at 10 Eastern. I did these comments early this morning. Susan Carter says thanks and hits the thanks button in the replay for $2. Thank you very, very much, Susan. You've hit it so many times. And you've hit the Cash App as well. Thank you. Kate Klein Stuber. Hi, Jack. Well, hello. And we heard from Overbuilt Automotive. We heard from you in the live stream. Yep, people need to use a PC, not a phone, and a 32-inch monitor. I suggest anyone. Yeah, I know people want better tech. I want a tech crew like Sean Hannity has, so I don't have to worry about it. You know, he does that whole thing, Hannity, from his house in West Palm Beach. That's why you never see anybody sitting across from Sean anymore. If you do, it's someone who lives in Florida near him, or it's he's on the road himself in Washington or New York, wherever. Vicki Matthews, also known as Victoria Winters. Gee, Jack, let me guess who that was. She's responding, Welina is the one Elvis is with, and the one he is married to. Yes, I believe Pastor Bob is EP. Hope you and Karen are happy and doing well. Okay, so then what happened to Robert Wayne, Joyce? There's another mystery. But people claim it's the same guy when really all you need is a set of eyeballs. That should be enough right there. Hi, Jack. I just read that Elvis didn't have an American flag draped over his casket. Do you know if that's true? Many people wrote to respond to that, like Kitty and Victoria. I wrote, is true, not in coffin, in my opinion. That I take a firm stance on, that it's, in my personal opinion, which is worth about, less than a cup of coffee at the Quick Check, if you have a Quick Check, or maybe you go to see what are obviously Buc-ee's in some states. Yeah, it's worth about that much. Dog lover. Hi, Jack. Sometimes it's hard to see the picture from your phone, yeah. But I looked at those pictures on that video. It wasn't bad. I try to get Google Photos. So I do have some more Google Photos. Nice out today, says Nancy DeMarco. Right, Marty? I opened a couple of windows. It's nice when people make friends here. It really is. So what else came in Google Photos this week? I actually had this photo already, but this will only matter to you. Let me go back to the live stream. If if you like the original Dark Shadows series, Nancy Barrett. This is when she was, I don't know, maybe in her 40s here with the late Louis Edmonds, 30s, 40s, 30s maybe. He was on All My Children for 11 years after Dark Shadows, but there was a big gap, and he did a lot of theater in that time period and continued to do theater after All My Children for a little while. But he was Roger Collins, Brutus Collins, and the one from 1795 Collins, Joshua Collins. Here is a picture of Nancy Barrett, who lives in Phoenix, Arizona now. She's 81, about to turn 82 next month, I think. Here she is from the Dark Shadows era. Roger Collins called her Kitten, and she was such a beautiful kitten, such a beautiful kitten. And a fan favorite, here she is now, maybe in 2023. There is Nancy Barrett now. Now, we showed you the construction pictures. I showed you the construction pictures on my phone. People said too much glare and stuff. It didn't look too bad to me the last time. These are complicated photos to absorb because there's so much clutter, and it's not a great shot in a brightly lit room. But they are working on that. Horse stable, which is going to become the sanctuary for our household of faith temporarily until they build the new church. If that actually happens, we shall see. You got to pick up the pace, though, because the new church, if it was at this pace, pastor would be 5 years older. So I say bring in a professional crew and get her done. But they just say, I wish Jack Willard would, just go away, little boy. Go away, little boy. And this one's even more cluttered. Too bad Richard is gone, because I wanted to ask him if he knew about Patsy's. Any New Yorkers here? I never knew about Patsy's, and I must have passed it dozens of times. So there you go. They're working hard. They're working hard, but I don't think it's every day. And you got to be able to pump in some heat because it's too cold to work otherwise. So this afternoon, I went to see the Jimmy Sturr Christmas show with Karen at the Paramount Theater. I have videos. I'll probably put up a taste of what the Christmas show was like. But I have a picture of the stage before that many people had arrived. But there is this Italian restaurant in New York that I have never heard about that's legendary. In fact, it was Frank Sinatra's favorite Italian restaurant. It's been around that long. It's called Patsy's. And Jimmy Sturr and his lady Barbara and Keith Strauss, who is sometimes the announcer for Jimmy Sturr. And especially when you watch the Jimmy Sturr TV show on RFD and Roku and other places. So they and a few other people, they all went to Patsy's the day after Thanksgiving, Times Square in New York. So there's Jimmy in the front, 18-time Grammy winner. Keith Strauss is wearing the multicolored shirt with the dark rim glasses. Barbara is next to Jimmy, and a couple, I'm not sure who that is, probably related to Barbara, I think. Not sure who the other woman is either. And I don't know who took the picture, but there they were at Patsy's. Now I want to go to New York just to go to Patsy's. But the crime is just, it's one thing if you're chauffeured to the door and picked up at the door, but if you're not. Here's Karen's wedding picture. She was married before me. I was married in 1985, but here she is with her mom, beautiful bride that she was. So I add that to my massive Google collection. Um, well, they are starting to get out there all over the place. Um, I think you're meaning the one that I showed on the phone, which is new to me. I don't have the clearer picture of it because I took a picture of a picture, from a site. So I can't promise I can do that. It's easy to find. Just look for some of the newer Elvis groups that don't think Elvis is Bob Joyce, and they have very few subscribers, and you'll find that pretty easy. Aisha is saying, okay, thanks. What time now? Where you're at? It's 3:40 in Australia right now, and it's the 8th day of December, a day I'll always remember. That was the 3rd of December, and Papa was a Rolling Stone. So let me play that Jimmy Sturr Polka Weekend spot that I voiced for him. He has not used it yet. He is starting to use some of the promotional liners on his Saturday night polka party. And this may sound strange to you because, I've had some high moments in my radio career. I never made it into big market per se. I was on 14 stations at once, so that was kind of a big reach when I did Christian radio. But being hired by cousin Bruce Morrow in 1980 was a big moment for me. And of course, I was excited and terrified all at the same time. I just heard some of Bruce tonight. He's 89 years old and he still looks good and still sounds like himself. He's not at peak performance, but he's still pretty good and does it from his home. So that was a big moment in my radio career. But I have to say, when I heard the Jimmy Sturr Polka Party, because I've been following Jimmy since 1969, he has two shows. One is called Polka Session, and one is called the Saturday Night Polka Party. And you can find both of them on the polkajammernetwork.org. Go to archives, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see 6 Jimmy Sturr shows. 3 Saturday night polka parties of past, and 3 polka session shows. So I voiced some what they call liners for him, and I voiced a spot for Polka Weekend because I noticed he was doing that spot himself instead of his normal voice guy. So I talked to him about it. I said, I have a question. I noticed that you voiced your own Polka Weekend. He said, yeah, and he explained why. No hard feelings against his regular guy, but he's a very busy guy. So I said, well, I could try to help you out, and no hard feelings if you don't like what I give you. But he said, that's right, you do that. I said, yeah, I do that. So I did a Polka Weekend spot, and I'll play that for you now. It tells you all about Polka Weekend that's coming to the Villa Roma Resort in Callicoon, New York, this third weekend, April 2025. So here we go.
Get ready for the 2025 Catskill Mountains Polka Weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at the beautiful Villa Roma Resort in Callicoon, New York. The weekend features 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr and the orchestra. Special guest Hank Kasevich and the Polka family paying tribute to the music of Happy Louie and more. Enjoy the welcome party on Friday afternoon with Joe Stanky and the Cadets. Also featured from Buffalo, the Concertina All-Stars. Now, the price includes 2 nights lodging, 6 delicious meals, 8 hours of open bar, Saturday night along with Jimmy Sturr, the nightclub show, Polka Mass on Sunday, plus dancing throughout the weekend. For reservations and more information, call 845-651-4266, 845-651-4266, Last year's Polka Weekend was a complete sellout, so call today. We'll see you April 25th through the 27th at the beautiful Villa Roma Resort in the Catskill Mountains.
So that's my Jimmy Stir spot for Polka Weekend. That hasn't aired, but the promotional liners have started to air. Here's the first of 4 possible liners for the Saturday Night Polka Party. Number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Guaranteed to put a skip in your step. The Saturday Night Polka Party with Jimmy Stir. Yeah, that's the one that aired last week. And a new one aired where I talk about the Saturday Night Polka Party being the cure for the winter blues. That aired on the show tonight. And that was just thrilling for me because I've so admired Jimmy Stir since 1969. And to hear my own voice as short as as it is on his Saturday Night Polka Party was a thrill. Was a thrill. Did not get to talk to him today. He's up there on the stage, but we will get to talk to him tomorrow. Our friends Sean and Norma are taking us to Connecticut tomorrow for Christmas in Connecticut. Christmas in Connecticut. And here's the flyer for that. Cadillac Ranch in Southington, Connecticut, near Bristol, Connecticut. $25 at the door to get in. And Jimmy Stir in the orchestra, Matt and Elaine, that's his dancers that do the cruises. And they have done Polka Weekend in the past. The Jimmy Stir singers will be there. And it's a big place and good food, good drink. Cadillac Ranch in Southington. The show starts at 2 o'clock. And you can come early. And don't take my seat, though, okay? Because we're, as it looks now, we are going to that tomorrow in Southington, Connecticut. Go to jimmystir.com for more information. Jimmy Stir, STURR.com. Otherwise, just show up at the Cadillac Ranch in Southington, Connecticut by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, if you're watching this live, which would be on the 8th of December, and you are guaranteed to have a wonderful time. He does all kinds of music too, but he'll be doing a lot of Christmas music. Have Johnny Karras with him. He doesn't always have Johnny Karras, who's been in the orchestra for 47 years, with him on every show anymore. Johnny lives in Daytona Beach, Florida, so he doesn't do the one gig here and there things. He does the big gigs only, and he's incredible, as is Frankie and Al and Ron and the drummer Richie and on and on and on, all the saxophone and trumpet players. They're terrific. And Jimmy Stewart. Nope, I don't think Jimmy Stewart will be at the Cadillac Ranch tomorrow. But he did do the Cheyenne Social Club. Do you remember that high-speed drifter? Yeah. As I recall, him and Henry Fonda they inherited the Cheyenne Social Club. And it was a whorehouse. I don't know any other way to say it at the moment. And who was the head madam? Shirley Jones herself, Mrs. Partridge. It's a really good movie, The Cheyenne Social Club. Yeah. Somebody comment, because I'm wondering if when I see it completely stop, I wonder if we are slowing down. We are slowing down. I mean, if the chat is frozen, because that seems to be happening. No, it hasn't. Thank you, Carmen, for writing something. If I Could Dream, I sung that one. That is a great song. That is absolutely a great song. Yes. What was her character name then? It wasn't Shirley Partridge, right? No. Um, I know he was Keith Partridge, Danny Partridge. Can't remember the little kids' names. Brian Foster replaced the little kid, I know. So we went from a dark haired little kid to a blonde kid. Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. You guys need to take a break sometimes too. Come on and get happy. Yeah. Henry A. Bradley, I'm here, meaning Shirley, right? Shirley under the heading Henry. Hi, Shirley. And we're thankful to Aisha. So we've had a pretty good run tonight. Um, just do a little bit of politics in a minute if you want to take a break. Well, we know it's David Cassidy, Shelley. Yes. Um, Sean Cassidy, who would go on to be a teen idol in his own right. David, of course, thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button for $1. Thank you very much. She's hit it so many times. I appreciate that. And she's done the Cash App as well. Thank you. First, they considered the Cowsills to be the Partridge Family. It was based somewhat on the Cowsills, but they didn't think the Cowsills were spectacular. The male lead, especially, they fine looking young man, but would this be Barry, who died in a tsunami? I think that was Barry. They didn't think he was going to be a big teen idol the way they wanted it to be. And then all of a sudden in walks David Cassidy. And they said, oh my God, do you see this guy? He will be huge. And he was. And Shirley was his stepmother in real life. Was his Shirley Jones was David Cassidy's stepmother. His real mother, Jack Cassidy's first wife, was got the name right on the tip of my tongue, and it's not coming off. But I guess Shirley had something to do with raising David at some point, because you're always shuffled back between mom and dad kind of thing, you know. It was Shirley Partridge, wasn't it? She did use her real name in the character, didn't she? I don't know. I used to watch the show from time to time. So I don't know why they didn't have another bedroom for him, but when young David would go to stay at his dad's house with his stepbrothers, well, there were other brothers, so they only had so many bedrooms, I guess, and he shared a bedroom with Sean, and they had bunk beds, and they would have pillow fights, and David was just crazy, you know, and what have you. And he says, you can't imagine what it's like that the guy you had a pillow fight with a year later is the biggest star in the universe, the biggest teen idol in a long time, and that he is adored by millions and is making a ton of money and has to go out and tour and record and has no time to himself anymore. It was just really weird. And then, of course, Sean Cassidy had a band that would play on like the Hollywood Sunset Strip and what have you. Kind of a punk kind of attitude. You know, he had long, stringy hair then, and he didn't really get that much attention, but he could get in the door by being a Cassidy to the Whiskey a Go-Go or someplace like that, even before he was old enough to drink there. So, then he got offered the role of Joe Hardy on the Hardy Boys. So on Saturday of that weekend, it's going to air at 7 o'clock on ABC. Really, nobody knew who Sean Cassidy was. By Monday, he was a superstar, and the record company Warner Brothers was saying, "Come on, get an album. We got to get an album done." He's working on the Hardy Boys 12 hours a day, recording his first album on the weekends and sometimes in the evening. He suddenly went from a nobody to a superstar, playing Madison Square Garden. The power of a good-looking boy. We say the power. Us guys sometimes say the power of. You know what the word is. Well, with guys, it's the other word. And a pretty face, right? Where men are suckers for a pretty face, and so are women. I'm not saying every woman. Cassidy was famous for the Hardy Boys. Yeah, Sean Cassidy was, sure, as was Parker Stevenson. Now imagine being Parker Stevenson, and you're a little older, but you're also an extremely handsome chap. An extremely handsome chap, and you're going to have a fan base. There's no doubt about it. But the other guy is he's younger, and he's got that cute that they love in Tiger Beating 16. You're just a handsome, dashing man. You're such a nice guy, and you have a sensitive voice, and the girls love you, but Sean's going to be their pick ultimately. Sean's going to be their pick. So he never achieved that kind of teen idol status Sean did. And David held on to it for a long time. And then it started to go down. And Sean held on to it for a few years, and then it started to go down. Donny Osmond held on to it for like forever, 8-9 years, and then went on to other things. So what David Cassidy said to Sean Cassidy is, I've been given